Hey guys, I'm so excited because my name is Brittany and I'm inviting you to come join me at the True Crime Lounge. Today is Saturday, June 4th, 2022, and this is the very first episode of this channel. Anyone who knows me knows that I am obsessed with true crime and serial killers. But before we get started, I want you to hit that like button, comment something you want me to talk about, and ring that bell for notifications. So why don't we grab our drink of choice, and let us begin True Crime Saturday. Alright, so today's topic, I'm thought long and hard about this, and I wanted to hit close to home. So, I am an Alabama native. I'm going to go ahead and say that. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about Daniel Lee Siebert, who was an Alabama Death Row Inmate. Siebert killed between 9 to 12 victims between 1979 and then back in 1985 to 1986. His victims included, now guys, just go with the information that's given to me. A gay man, Gidget Castro, Necia McElrath, Sherry Waters, his girlfriend, and her two children, who were 4 and 5, Linda German, Linda Faye Odom, and Beatrice McDougall. His method of murder is stabbing with a knife and strangulation. His location of the murders include California, New Jersey, Nevada, and Alabama. In 1979, however, he was convicted of manslaughter and paroled in 1985 in Las Vegas. On March 21st, 1987, in Alabama, he died. He died before his sentence on death row. At Holman Prison near Atmore, Alabama, on April 22nd, 2008. So, a little bit of backstory. Siebert was born June 17, 1954 in Mattoon. I apologize if I'm butchering these names up, guys. Illinois. Mattoon, Illinois. While growing up in Illinois, his father was Erman Julius Siebert, and he was an abusive and sadistic father. As a child, Siebert was sexually and physically abused by his father in every way possible. His father beat, raped him, forced him to perform oral sex, and made him put girls' underwear on to have sex with him. His father would gag him, tie him up, and even urinate on him. That's disgusting. Daniel was routine hit with a bullwhip. This was so severe that the scars remained on him until a grown man. Pretty sure that was some emotional scars too. Oh. Siebert would go on to later tell his son, "I now know it was too late." At the age of 12, Daniel's mother reportedly found a new man, at which point he ran away from home. According to his son, was lost to the streets of drugs and prostitution. In 1972, Siebert decided to try and straighten his life out. Siebert enlisted in the Marines under the name Daniel Marlowe. He hoped that this discipline would benefit him. However, he was given an early dishonorable discharge between 1973 and 1975. Siebert has had a son and daughter during this time. His son Damian Siebert is a current prisoner in the state of California. In 1979, Siebert's violence began to get him into serious trouble when he was convicted of manslaughter in Las Vegas. by a trail of the dead woman he left behind. And after his release from manslaughter, he began traveling from state to state. During this time, he started to going by the name of the alias Danny Spence. In January 1986, Siebert moved in with Donald in Talladega, Alabama, and helped Hendren design stage sets at a school. At this time, Siebert was still using the name Danny Spence. Donald was on his way to Talladega to become an artist at the Alabama Institute for the Deaf and the Blind. Reportedly, Siebert volunteered at the school at the hopes of becoming an art teacher. Well, okay. You would think that would help. While volunteering at the Institute, Danny hoped this would lead to a permanent position. Donald has reported that he moved out of the apartment shortly after Danny arrived due to him dating a student from the Institute. And this was against the school policy. So that student was, of course, 24-year-old Sherry Weathers. And she was a hearing-impaired single mother. Weathers has two young sons, Chad, who was 5, and Joseph, who was 4. Danny went to Sherry's home and strangled not only her, but her 2 boys. I just got to imagine a scenario that's playing out in my head right now, so so I'm not sure how that played out, but I have a scenario played out in my head. However, his murder spree, you would think it would stop there, but it didn't stop there. He also strangled Linda German, who also lived in the same apartment building as Sherry, and she was also hearing impaired. And turns to find out she was also a student there too. She was also a part of the student there at the school. After this strangulation of Linda German, Danny stole her car. When Weathers did not, so how did the school find out? Well, when Weathers did not answer her phone, the school became concerned that something might be wrong. The manager used her passkey and found Sherry and her 2 small boys dead in the room. The bodies were piled up together on Sherry's bed and loosely covered in a blanket. When police arrived, the manager directed them to another apartment. This apartment was occupied by 33-year-old Lisa German. Another student missing from the Institute. The patrolman found her naked and lifeless on the bed. A television set in the woman's car apparently stolen by her assailant. Investigation revealed that an Institute art teacher, one Daniel Spence, had expressed a romantic interest in Sherry Weathers, missing from class since February 20th. Spence had expressed a romantic interest in Sherry Weathers. Missing from class since February 20th, Spence had turned up at the school several months earlier, offering to teach free in hopes of gaining a permanent job later. So fingerprints from the Talladega murder scene identify Spence as Daniel Siebert, convicted of a Las Vegas manslaughter in 1979, presently sought in San Francisco on charges of first-degree assault. Couldn't stop him, guys. I guess he couldn't stop himself. Spence, in the meantime, had not been able to work at the school since February 20th. Also, interestingly enough, on that day, the body of a 19-year-old black prostitute, Cheryl Evans, was found after she had been missing for a week. Her body was dumped at the side of the road in a nearby county, and the police later suspected that Daniel Lee Siebert was responsible for her death. Detectives also learned that Siebert had been dating Linda Odom, a 32-year-old cocktail waitress that was reported missing on March 30th. Independent evidence also linked Siebert with the strangulation of a prostitute in Calhoun County, found around the time he disappeared from Talladega. Highway Patrol found Linda Odom's car abandoned in Elizabethtown, Kentucky on March 3, 1986. And Siebert's fingerprints were lifted from the vehicle. Over the next 6 months, sightings of the fugitive were reported from Ohio, New Jersey, Nevada, Southern Cal, and Montreal, Canada. The first solid lead was delivered on September 3rd, when a Las Vegas friend of Siebert reported a telephone call from the fugitive. Police were ready when the next call came, and it came from a payphone in Nashville, Tennessee. Employees at a nearby restaurant identified Siebert's mugshot, and he was arrested the next morning. When he arrived to complete some work on the restaurant sign, in custody, Siebert readily confessed to 5 murders in Alabama, various others from all over the country. However, the country in Canada. And when they asked how many, this was his answer: maybe a dozen. Maybe more. I try to put things out of my mind. He killed for the purposes of sex and robbery. Being careful to murder his victims after a San Francisco hooker survived the throttling and foul charges against him. In addition to his Alabama cases, Siebert was charged with the 1985 murders of 28 Gidget Castro and 23-year-old Necia McElver in Los Angeles, both previously attributed to the elusive Southside Slayer. He was also charged in the 1986 strangulation of the 57-year-old Beatrice McDowell in Atlantic City, New Jersey. The authorities announced that they were checking other unsolved homicides in Arizona, California, Nevada, and Florida. Which, if you're going to get caught in Florida, you might as well get the death penalty for all those killings. That's Bundy. On March 21st, 1987, Siebert was convicted of the Linda German murder in Talladega, receiving a sentence of death. Prosecution in other cases was held in abeyance pending the outcome of the appeal on the capital verdict. In 1987, while awaiting trial, Daniel Lee Siebert confessed to the murder of 2 women in Los Angeles that had previously attributed to the Southside Strangler. This resulted in him being charged with the 1985 murder of 28-year-old Gidget Castro and 19-year-old Necia McElver. Both women were African-American prostitutes and were both strangled. Los Angeles County Sheriff Sherman Black stated that Siebert had provided information that would be known to the person involved in the murders, and declared that he had no doubt Siebert was responsible for the murders of these 2 young women. Daniel Siebert had been residing in Southern California during the times of these murders and was known to be a frequent to the Hollywood area. He reportedly explained to the police that he murdered these prostitutes so that he could take their money. He was also charged with the 1986 strangulation of the 57-year-old Beatrice McDougall. And again, I do apologize, though. I am terrible with names. McDougall, whose body was found in the hotel room in Atlantic City, New Jersey, in 1987. Siebert received a death penalty for the murders of Sherry Wetters and her children, Linda Germain. He was sentenced to life for the murder of Linda Odom. He was screwed anyway, guys. While in prison, Siebert liked to draw, and he often depicted women in bondage. He stated that he learned how to draw whenever he was hiding from his father. Siebert sold his artwork as memorabilia on memorabilia websites. I must now go look it up and see if it still exists. His He had more than a couple of female pen pals who were devoted to him and would post updates about him and the death penalty laws on the internet. In 2007, Daniel Lee Siebert was investigated regarding a recent pornography case for which he was charged, and a personal correspondent of his was charged with multiple sex crimes in relation to the investigation. Siebert's execution was set for October 2007 after the Attorney General declared that he had exhausted all his appeals. Siebert had challenged death row protocol to the death penalty. He came within a day of his execution and was stayed pending a Supreme Court ruling. While he was being treated for pancreatic cancer, Siebert tried to challenge the death penalty, stating that the drugs used to treat the cancer would interact with the drugs used for lethal injection and cause him unnecessary pain. A physician stated that it was possible that the lethal injection drugs would cause him to vomit. The fact that he got that position on his side, I could be wrong, guys. It could be right, but I'm just having a hard time believing it. Before the state could put him to death, Daniel Lee Siebert, his cancer killed him. After the death, Alabama Attorney General Troy King said that the death should put an end to the years of legal shenanigans that have gone on. Esther Brown, Executive Secretary of Project Hope to abolish the death penalty, said that he certainly hoped to die from the cancer before he was executed. To which said, "It's a shame that he got what he wanted." King said, now this was King said, "It's a shame he got what he wanted, but the people he brutally executed had no say in this matter, and that's injustice to them." So what do you guys think? Do you think he got away lucky with dying from cancer before the death penalty? Do you think he deserved the death penalty? Or it's interesting to see how this played out. Years of abuse. Could that have been a factor in him killing people? We'll never know. It's interesting researching these serial killers, because I just like to know the psychology behind it, like why they did it to begin with, because they all come from different backgrounds. Daniel Lee Siebert, I'm not going to give an opinion personally, because I really don't want to start an internet war, but that was the research I got, and I will post some, and I will show the pictures too of him, but it's crazy. But that's it for today on the True Crime Lounge. I'm probably going to pre-record a video because my friend is getting married next week. So I won't be able to post a video, but it's not going to be about a serial killer. However, it's going to be about serial killers, just to overview a topic I've really been wanting to discuss for a while. But thank y'all for tuning in to the first episode of the True Crime Lounge. I'm so excited. I hope you enjoyed it. If not, that's okay. But just comment your name, someone you want me to talk about. Hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications for more videos like this.